Hello, chat. We are live. I had some very interesting audio and setup issues earlier this week. I managed to fry my keyboard and I fried my my wireless headset receiver, and I nearly fried my microphone, but I didn't do that, thankfully. And so I spent the past, because I hadn't recorded anything Dissidia yesterday either, so I found out about 5 minutes ago, and last minute as usual, that nothing worked like I wanted it to. So,
Hey,
sorry for the delay. Oh, go ahead.
At least the excuse is not that you spilled orange juice in it. Like,
Yes.
that's the lamest excuse for something not working. So frying it that's understandable.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Did someone ban me? Where are all the white women at? Nowhere around here. Nowhere around here. Let's see. Catching up on chat. How's everyone doing? Had Oxtail. Oh, Oxtail. Wow. I wish I had Oxtail. I never had that before. Ready for Boss Rush? Oh, yeah. Inky ready for Boss Rush? Hi, Excalibur.
Hell yeah. Setzer Super Synergy. Is there a better thing in the world
I'm
than
going to use
Setzer Super
purple
Synergy?
Setzer pre-rework for the first time in Global on Boss Rush tomorrow. Or is it? Yeah, it is tomorrow. Probably not going to do it tomorrow, though.
The last time I used Setzer was Kais, Lufenia.
How are we early when he's late? Okay, catching up. I wasn't on another. I was just troubleshooting. Yeah, sorry for that, guys. I'm getting a new keyboard, and I'm getting. I'll be good to go again next week. But this was because what happened was I was working and my headset wasn't working, and I had it plugged into a USB hub. And see, I'm like, you know what? This thing takes external power. Maybe it's not powered enough. That's why it's not working. So I went and tried to find the adapter that I could plug into my socket, right? And so I plugged it in, and then just my keyboard just lit up and just went out. I was like, oh no. And I could have sworn I saw a spark, and I just unplugged everything and threw it on the floor. I'm like, is this shit about to blow up? And then I waited, and I smelled something burning, so I'm sitting there like, I checked everything. That could have been really bad. Like, I could have fried everything. So I'm never plugging in anything ever again. My keyboard that I've had for 4 years, my mechanical Cherry MX Silent Red keyboard that I really like, is now toast. It doesn't turn on at all. I'm very sad. And my headset adapter is fried, so I had to plug it in manually. And that's why I was trying to, because when I was talking to Ink before we went live, but I couldn't. I was talking and I heard myself, which was a very weird thing. And so I have an adapter that I plug into my computer because my headset cord is audio and it's microphone and headset in one slot. So what I had to do, and it worked somewhere, then I just unplugged the microphone part and I stopped not hearing myself. Ugh, okay. There, I've explained my absence. I'm like, okay, my hardware.
You could say that your old keyboard is Seven's LD, and your new keyboard that's coming is Serah's LD, right?
Look at this dude. Let's see. Ever heard of EDP? I'm not gonna read that full thing. I feel like I'm gonna curse myself on stream if I read that. I never heard that. Yeah. Hello, Riley. Anyone heard some of the hot takes on the Thanos meme in the subreddit? Oh man, Ink, you saw that thread, right?
Yes.
About the people saying everything's unfair. Oh man.
Yeah. So whenever I see that crap, I want to self-promote and be like, do you read our guides? Because we do try to help. I don't know. This is when I feel like it helps to watch people that provide commentary on fights and try and look what they do. And I also do people still use HP++ on their if a character is built around HP++ like Kieran, okay, fine. But are there people that actually try to do Lufenia and they use HP+? Because that button doesn't do anything anymore. You don't use that button anymore.
If there's anything I've observed, it's that the fact that this is a gacha is becoming apparent to people. Like people had it smooth to their fort. Like RNA, like the RNA button has like, and the lightning button is wearing off too. And we don't quite we're in quite a little bit of a period where the OP button isn't quite readily accessible. So I think people aren't having as much fun. That's my thought on it. Because people have been able to coast with their, sorry to cut you off. People have been able to coast with their OP units and their foresight and being able to save and stuff. But you know, when you get caught off guard because your roster's lopsided, you start to feel the pressure, and I think that's a lot of the frustration. I mean, having played JP, I am ready for curveballs, and I expect to jump around. Like I didn't record my run for the Kane Lufenia yet, but Titus, for example, claps it because the orb is +2 on range and +2 again if you do 500k damage in one turn with a ranged attack. And it turns out that since Titus' follow-up is ranged, it counts the whole attack as ranged. So he kind of destroys that fight. Stuff like that, you know, you get by just getting a feel for things. But if you're expecting people to just hold your hand the whole way and then the Band-Aid gets ripped off for one fight, it feels really rough. What were you gonna say?
I love how I watched a Trey run of Kane's Lufenia Plus. Like, hey, maybe people should appreciate Trey more and stop throw the Terra goggles and the Garland goggles on the floor and actually throw some tickets at Trey, who deserves it, and like give the dude some respect. He's doing the latest Lufenia Plus.
Yeah, my initial
and
run
not carried.
Well, the thing, I definitely carried the hell out of him. He didn't even hit the orb because I swapped him out at my run like 80%, and then had Twins friend going, and then Titus BT, and he just murdered the whole thing. And then Trey came back for like the last 10%. Titus is nuts. Titus is nuts. Eldnars requires HP plus. Yeah, he's the exception. Eldnars also sucks.
Yeah, he's also boring as well.
Pikachu, let me go ahead and ban you for the day. I know Ink. I know you said somewhere about I think it might have been on Reddit that people might need to look more at if you're not planning on going for Terra's Burst, Trey is a more valuable pickup, and I actually completely agree with that take. So let's flesh that out a little.
For sure, look, Terra's a damage dealer. She's a fantastic damage dealer, and the fact that she like steals turns is obviously that's very good. And she's easier to play. She's so much easier to play than Lightning. She's not frustrating to play. But if you're not gunning for her burst, like the fact that Trey has instant break, that he turns everybody in the party into instant breakers. Enemies can't hold their brave anymore. I feel like people, like, have you played Porum and you understand how indestructible you are with Porum? I feel like Trey is a slightly different version of that, but still has a similar effect. Like, just watching runs, go watch a run of Trey in a Mid-Italians Lost Chapter Lufenia, and just watch as all their brave gains are completely disrupted and destroyed because Trey breaks them immediately. It doesn't matter if they freaking gain, like in the latest Lufenia, they gain like over 150,000 brave, don't they?
I don't know. I never saw it. I ran Trey. One sec. Daniel, thank you, Daniel Palman. Thanks for the $5. I appreciate it. It's just a how's it going sticker. I appreciate it nonetheless. Thanks for coming through, dude. Okay, go ahead.
Chill. I appreciate. It's nice when people give if they can. That's cool.
Oh, Drez 64 with the dancing pear. I wish that doesn't show up on the stream. For $5. Thanks you two for coming through. Always here. Appreciate you. Go ahead, Ink.
Sick. Yeah, like the fact that Trey. So I was gonna record my own video, and then I just decided, screw it. I'm just gonna say my stuff on your streams rather than like bother with my own editing on my like dank YouTube channel.
That makes me so happy because that's what I wanted to do here.
Yeah, like have people not... did they lose sight of how busted Gladio is and his off-turn damage? And so now Trey is here with off-turn damage, and people are either... I don't know if they're just looking at burst characters coming up or what, but how do you ignore his level of off-turn damage if you saw how powerful Gladio was? Like, I feel like they're comparable for that. Obviously, they cover utterly completely different roles, but they both do off-turn damage, and they're both very good at it.
I want to say, I think I've been saying this for the past couple of weeks, that a lot of people generally, and this is true for a lot of things, you don't form your own opinions. You get influenced by the things around you. So the blinders on Terra and Garland, when Trey is a fantastic unit, that's one of those things you get from talking to people who actually play JP and see some of the in-between stuff and not the high view YouTube runs of meme stuff. Pretty much everyone I talk to who plays JP and has kept up with it has nothing but fantastic things to say about Trey, and you kind of miss out on that unless you got your ear to those things. So I agree with the Terra thing completely because I never got Terra's burst. I think I only used Terra on challenge quests and her initial Lufenia, and that was it. And not to say that Terra is bad, because obviously she's not. She can do a lot of work, but Terra's not the one handling Lufenia orbs in the future while my DPS goes to town. It's Trey. So stuff like that is stuff that can easily be missed out on if you just follow hype cycle. So that's why it's good to kind of step back, and hopefully channels like myself and others can help put those takes out there because they're not as loud. But I'm starting to get a little louder.
I'm glad you are getting louder because I've had to block more content creators because they say something on their video overview and it just sets me off and just sort of frustrates me that those people, look, it's totally fine, it's the internet, everyone has a platform, but to see people saying, yeah, I agree with you, I'm gonna skip this, and they're clearly not looking very far ahead, and they're also not evaluating kits properly.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to evaluate a kit, and I'm not gonna. Obviously I do it for the Tonberry troop, so I've been doing it for like 2 years now. Shit. So I get it, and I make my own mistakes. That's why I talk to JP players to fix things. But if you're not, look at a kit and see if anybody can do what they're doing. No one does what Trey does, period. No one does it. Absolutely no one does it. Yeah. He deserves way more respect. I would have gemmed him if I wasn't capped on tickets. I really would have.
Yep, that's real. This time in JP, you complained about too many debuffs. Did I? Was it around this time? Probably. I guess that checks.
Yes.
Do you still feel the same? Yep. 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 You definitely got to think a little bit harder about it. It is kind of annoying, especially playing JP now with the 8 slots and then coming back to GL with the 6 slots. It's definitely I mean, I guess I'm over it now because I know there's a better future. But because I think my main frustration stemmed from using Caius's call, and it'd be like, okay, I just can't use anything else anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to find a run of Golbez because I was doing Golbez's analysis. I have never been so far ahead in Tonberry truth work. It is fantastic. But I was trying to find a non-synergy run of Golbez, which is actually pretty hard to find non-synergy runs in general. Most people generally run synergy, or you're looking at boss rush or transcendence, and everyone has synergy stats for that generally. Mm-hmm. So looking at him, and I was always like, okay, Golbez has good damage, but I always realized that the first set of attacks on his EX, literally every time he used his EX, the first set of attacks didn't hit for weakness, and then the weakness came through because he had to keep reapplying his Imperil because it kept getting pushed off by other people's generic debuffs. It kept happening, and that's because they loaded the boss up with frame debuffs, so there was only 2 slots available, 1 or 2 slots. So I can see how it's a really annoying problem.
Yeah. Speaking quickly on YouTube runs too, because I want to get out a video about this eventually. Having been running on YouTube consistently for a while now, and also trying to optimize the views I can get. Let me tell you, if you've been recording for a while, or you don't feel like banging out something for a while, if you don't have that kind of tenacity, and there are people who do upload multiple runs, like VL is like VL and Stimpy are some of the craziest run uploaders ever. They do a lot of work on that. But if you're just bashing your head against a run and you don't feel like doing it, you just end up like me and being lazy and stopping it. So that it's the availability bias where you see a lot of something and assume that's representative of the whole when it's really not. I have a picture of it's like a giant circle and there's a dot in the middle, and that represents the YouTube population. But expect that in the future. Catching up a little on chat. Wouldn't it be better to not use Terra's burst and instead use all of her LDs under a double burst? I have no idea how to judge Terra, so I'm not going to speak on that.
So it depends on the fight. But yes, if you need to spam it, sometimes you just need breathing room, right? So sometimes you want to use her LD to push enemies back, like give another turn to your healer, just to let them heal, right? Because if she uses her LD, the enemies will eventually unbreak and essentially delay a turn. So if you need to hog turns at a certain point in the fight, it's like definitely worth it. Yeah, like her Lufenia, but also her. There's so many interesting, fun ways to counter Terra's Lufenia. I'm looking forward to it.
People not diversifying their rosters the biggest people for people complaining about difficulty. Yeah, you know why? Because certain fights get hyped and certain units get hyped, and then people don't see the in between. So a sap orb is honestly probably one of the easiest orbs to achieve, because we have Gabronth's Call, and we have Ferris E-Spheres and Thancred E-Spheres and a bunch of other things that can satisfy. So that's a really easy condition to make. Stuff like that, you know, if you're looking for the big picture and not like having a generally good at, like if you're having trouble with an orb, that's a sign that you need to pull. The game wants you to pull. This isn't some some Final Fantasy playground simulator. It's a gacha game. I wish we could hone that in more. People need to temper their expectations. They want you to pull. They want to make money.
Yeah, I wish that well, first off, I could tell that a lot of people have struggled. So how much do you think the Thanos meme that was posted is because Trey's Lufenia is actually super hard if you don't pay attention to the mechanics?
Oh, completely. Completely. you can stomp it. The fight is garbage, but there are some very key things you have to do to respect it. And I know everyone and their mom has Gladio. I know everyone and their mom has Gladio, but if you don't have some way to mitigate the giant HP attack they do, then you're gonna get smacked. So there is a lot of mechanics, and people are generally used to coasting by things and stomping them, I'd say. And if you get that flow disrupted, it's not very fun. That's why I try and running non-synergy stuff to get a better perspective on how it is if you're not running the exact opt. Like imagine me going, like, there's no, wow, this Lufenia was so easy, use Gladio, Trey, Serah, going around in mass as there was for like lightning shit, because it's not super intuitive like run on YouTube in mass. And you get these situations where there are great solutions to the fight, but not a lot of the player base was hyped enough to do them. So especially with the Serah, and we're going to talk about Serah in a bit, but what were you going to say?
Oh no, I was going to comment about the person that was talking about Waka, so you should finish your thought.
Oh, I was finished. That's why I threw it to you.
Oh. So, like, the person that said Waka's LD is potentially backbreaking, but do you really want to gamble on RNG and Lufenia? So I already updated the Tonberry Troop site, the drafted site. It's not published yet, but with Waka, and I had to put an asterisk next to all of his roles on the page. It's like, he's specialty at stopping Brave gains. He's specialty at denying turns, but hey, 1/3 chance, like 33% chance of doing that. So that just feels bad. Like, look, the guy's got a lot. He has a decent amount going for him, and he can battery a lot. He can battery every, like, 2 out of every 3, or 50% of the time he's doing fat batteries, but Serah's doing really fat batteries. Serah killed everybody.
Serah, yeah. Trey's unbelievable value. Yeah, he is. Like, once you, like, get, like, that 45% Brave damage up for 1, it's near close to Vital Crusher. That's really close. If a content creator is reading from the City of DB or Tonberry Troops website, I stop listening because I can do that on my own. I wish more people were like you. I wish. I wish that stopped being a thing, because we should stop repeating things and not analyzing them with, like, we should be weaving in, like, understandings and stuff. That's why I try and take the time to explain what I'm thinking and not just echo things, because then people might just it's platitudes are probably the worst thing you can do about this game, because you hear a lot of, and I poked fun at this in my Serah analysis video where I said people praise quote unquote auras, but they don't actually know what's going on, and you end up missing out on really good stuff or not understanding how to evaluate things because you just get the information fed to you. Considering your analysis on Trey, Waka is also unique. Must pull. I don't like using Waka, but I can see his power. Ooh, Lens Hunter for 20 bucks. Wow. Was there a message attached to that? You are amazing. Wow, thank you. I appreciate it. You're amazing too. And so is the goofy little pear emoji that keeps coming through here.
That pear emoji is goofy.
It's so funny.
Thanks,
Lightly for Waka. Seodor and Kuj are also framed. I'm way off chat, so I'm just gonna scroll up to recent and stay there. If you want to say something again and you want to make sure I hear it, super chat it, or just say it more recently. Sorry guys, keeping caught up with chat. I always believed in Serah when she was still garbage. Daniel, you are hilarious. I don't like using Trey, but I do see the hype. So let's talk about Serah, shall we? You want to kick it off?
Yeah, I mean, they stapled so much crap onto her LD. People were saying, "Oh, she got a couple minor changes." Minor fucking changes is like
semantics.
She got
semantics.
Yeah,
semantics are for losers.
She got some of
it's Neclord.
Hello.
Oh, awesome. The stream just got a lot more professional. Everybody, Neclord sounds like he could sell you anything. He's great.
Hello,
but like as much as I sound that way, my energy is the total opposite.
Well, yeah, it's like 3 in the morning, right?
Oh no, not that extreme. It's like 1:30.
Okay, all right.
Still bad, but not that.
I see.
So we were talking about Serah, right? They gave.
Oh.
Why do you bring characters to fights? Serah has so many of the reasons why you bring a support to a fight. Literally, all she's missing is healing, and that is not a hard thing. We have tons and tons of healers. It doesn't matter. Alphino was a super powerful character when he got EX+. His healing was garbage. His healing was absolute garbage, and people used him forever. And yeah, the healing was like fine, and it was convenient to have, but more people basically loaded up on healing from a different character, and Alphino was still hyped and amazing. So throw the healing in the garbage. Brave damage up is excellent. HP damage up is premium, especially with characters
you love the
that
word
are coming
premium.
up. I do,
and I hate you
that
for
word.
it, by the way.
It is. So do you prefer super? Like that's what they call it in Japan, right?
I don't know,
like that.
but you use it as a buzzword for like the main beef I have with it. I chose violence already. It's called what does premium damage dealer mean? I've been thinking about that all week, honestly.
Oh.
I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck is a premium damage dealer?
Well, so premium damage dealer means that they are basically probably in the top 5.
Basically, probably
of the roster. No, they're
look at these
the
qualifiers.
Top 5 to 10% of damage in the roster, right?
So
top
great damage dealer
characters.
Why does it got to be
Fine.
premium?
You have to put distinguishers between these in some way. I feel like.
So
look,
what's an
I'm not
example of
gonna
a damage
compare-
dealer, and what's an example of a premium damage dealer?
So premium damage dealer is probably somebody like. Can I use future units, or you want me to use?
Do whatever you like
ones?
to try and make it make sense. Oh, Len said I had a premium sandwich earlier.
So, look, premium is top. They cover the role extremely well for you, as opposed to like Aranea. I don't consider her a premium damage dealer because she's only got single brave dumps across most of her kit. So she ends up dealing a lot of damage. She's great at it, but she's not necessarily carrying with her damage. On certain team comps, Emperor is premium damage, Ultimisha is premium damage, and it's not because,
depending, right? It's conditional.
It is conditional.
Okay,
yes.
so you have a conditional title. You see how this is so bad?
All right, look. So my word is no better than a Cyan skill 1 in Chaos, but whatever.
Shots fired. Yikes. Where did that come from? What did Neclord do?
It's conditional, and there's who else do you relate conditions to?
Just lighting you
up.
Yeah, I think Cyan now is the poster boy for bullshit conditionals. I'm trying to. Is there anyone else that's really bad at the moment? I don't think so.
Squall and a second phone.
Sayador.
Oh yeah, Sayador's. Oh yeah, shit.
Edward.
He was released recently. That makes it even worse.
Yeah. It does. I was trying to figure out Sayador's like date of death. Like when did people finally? It may be this Lufinia, where people were like, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. Forget it."
For who?
Because for Sayador.
Oh yeah, this might be it.
Because people ran him to cover the orb on Y'shtola's Heretic. It was harder, but people did it.
Oh my god, chat's hilarious right now. You guys are idiots. It's kind of semantics at this point, John Belmont, to my premium. Like, Ink could easily change the word to pog and make everyone cringe a little, and the meaning would still be the same.
True story.
Edward's a premium character. Squall is pure damage and nothing else. He better be premium. Eldnar's is chat. See, you see my issue with this.
Everyone
Premium
is
is
here
such
for the
a
premium takes.
It's such a it's like PR filler, like synergy.
Do I put premium in the infographics though? I don't think I do.
Oh, you do. You do.
Do I?
Whatever.
I try to use strong and powerful.
That too. You use all of them. It was something that triggered me. I forget what it was, but something triggered me hard. Like I don't know what it was. I don't know why it just came out of nowhere. But I just saw premium damage here. I'm like, what is premium?
So usually it means that they're going to be one of the absolute top damage dealers on your team. You have to distinguish it because Aranea is not going to be your premium damage dealer. She's going to be a great damage dealer for you.
Oh, that's subjective. Wow. What if I disagree?
Okay, let's match out numbers. Let's talk.
Well, is there a damage threshold for premium damage?
Is there a damage threshold?
Like how much damage do you have to do to be premium?
I already decided not to do fucking thresholds. I tried that for a little bit.
Well, then how are you defining it?
How am I defining premium? Generally, they're dealing upwards of 250 to 300.
So there is a number.
Yeah, there is a number. Like that's what I'm looking for. That's what I was checking for with Golbez when I was doing Golbez's analysis. It's like, okay, where is his damage threshold per turn? How much damage is he dealing on a single turn? And if you're north of like 200k, I consider that. Whether I call it premium or not, like like I said, I don't try to put premium. Sometimes I guess it gets through, and I'll keep an eye on that. But like over 200k is great damage. Like my Strago for Trey's event supported 2x2 powerful supports. Strago's damage was premium. He was dealing with a general skill like 400k, which is bananas.
You're gonna have a blast listening back to this and seeing you jump back and forth.
Fuck. Well, deal with it.
Co-op bomb, $5. Is this a premium super chat? Hell yeah, it is. You got a shout out. I hope you said your name right, although I probably didn't. Shout out to you. Putting Ink on the spot. Yeah, I hope you guys realize nobody's safe. Ink's my buddy, but I love giving him a hard time. Mino would be, if Mino was here, he'd be tearing into him right now too. So just be happy Mino isn't here.
It's giving him a premium interrogation.
I'm so glad, Neclord.
I hope you're reading chat because they're roasting you too.
No, that's fine. I don't care. That's fine.
BTs are premium because they cost more.
Infographics, that's fine. As long as they get benefit out of the
I need to find out what triggered me. Unleaded damage versus premium damage versus C plus nitro damage. Damage threshold, do over 1 in your premium. Premium deals. Vivi was a prime example of a premium damage. You mean he was a premium example of premium damage? Slap Rain's call on Y'shtola, and now she's a premium damage dealer. This went from momentary Serah discussion to a large. Yes, Paladin. The point is that I hate semantics, and that I'd rather just say what people do. Big damage is more descriptive than premium damage, but I'm going to continue to give Ink a hard time for being overly descriptive on things because it's just what I do. Tifa has premium badonkadonks. Agreed. Sabin is premium. Sabin is a premium unit as a whole.
Thank you.
It boils down to premium being one of Ink's favorite words. Oh yeah, premium, strong. What's the third one?
Are there USDA meat levels for my analyses that I didn't realize?
Oh man, so I'm gonna get dreamy on making that meme of Ink's USDA meat levels of rating units. You said there's strong. What was the other word you use?
So I use strong, powerful, and then I use good.
Strong and powerful. Okay.
I throw in good for auras when they're like convenient auras. Like Ishtola's auras are good. They're not strong.
I see.
Yeah.
Just gonna let that
that's gotta make
there.
sense. No, I challenge anyone that says Ishtola's auras are strong, and I will point out that strong and powerful and good are all just, you could consider them arbitrary. I could rate it like anything. Yeah, so I get it. Like I could say that one's an apple, one's a cookie, and one's a 7-layer cake, and there's not really a big difference between them. I get it.
just add levels of Pog to everything. Pog champ, and Poggers. That's how you should define everything. I'm doing Mino's job tonight. No, am I? No, this is how I usually talk to Ink. He'll tell you. You guys just see some of his ideas that don't see the light of day.
There was a joke before with Dreamy where it was like, I think it was like 3 documents in a row. He was like pounding out infographics when we were worried about like Aerith coming and stuff. So he did like 5, and I thanked Black Cloud on like 4 of them. And he was like, should I just make that part of the header like permanently, like special thanks Black Cloud? Like, do you talk to anybody else? It was funny. We do talk a lot, and BC always calls me on my crap and corrects my takes, which I appreciate.
Yeah,
and there are a bunch of other players that do it also.
And I learned a lot of numbers that I didn't ask for from Ink too.
But that's why it's important to talk to the community, right?
Yes.
If you listen, that's the value in it, right? Is don't just talk to one person, because that's never enough. Like, I don't just talk to BC about various things happening.
Yep.
See, I was talking to the community, and they were telling me that because Serah's base kit wasn't changed, she's still trying.
Good way to bring it back to Serah. If you're watching the VOD, by the way, 1, like the video, 2, hashtag premium in the chat.
There's evidence you have watched up until this point.
Yes, premium. This is a premium stream. Anyways, yeah, let's go back to Serah. I know at least Ink watched my video. At least I assume he did.
I did. Which is why, and if you watch until the end, BC says that he's not saying it yet, but that Serah might be the best global first since Aranea. Not putting her at Aranea's power level, but saying that she's the best one since. Which is basically saying that, hey, she's maybe more impactful than who came after, Vivi and Valthier and Vincent.
Chat.
That you wanna defend that, BC?
Well, yeah, because I was thinking about just Serah's future launch. Like, those auras are just ridiculous. The amount of the M-Brave, like her I wish I'd said this in the video, but her M-Brave regen is equivalent to stack 2 of Arden's burst buff. Like that's how strong her regen is. And she's about to get stealth buffed again when encouragement armor gets reworked, so her battery's going to be even more ridiculous. And imagine if they bring the Pestle RF thing early too. Oh my lord. Serah is going to age. Like Balthier has a damage ceiling, unfortunately, and he also does not have an LD call. But Serah is like top of the line right now, and I really think she's going to be sticking around for a while because those auras are pretty much, they're kind of matched by 7, but Serah does like everything better than 7, which is sad because I like 7, but I'm probably going to skip her now because of Serah. I don't think I'd ever use her over Serah. Serah can just fit in so many teams. those auras, man, are really, really good. Like she's gonna be working for a long time. And so while I think trashing like Balthier and Vivi was a bad decision, and people need to eat their words for that. Like if you trash Serah, and Serah has one of the most simple kits ever. She gives a lot of attack, a lot of brave damage up, a lot of HP damage up. She gives a lot of everything buff wise, and she's gonna be cooking for a while. I don't even think that's probably the safest take you can make.
Yeah, and there's if you look, like I've done analysis up to Golbez, no one's coming before Golbez that touches Serah or her role on the team. Like no one comes close.
Like what's it, like 9 maybe might compete? I don't know 9's exact numbers, but it's not the same. 9 does a bunch of different things anyways. 9 Kadaj, Bart's does he have, I don't know how Bart's works. I just know he does.
So
Bart, yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that I don't remember how the cheese was for Alexander's Lufenia with Gladio countering. Does Serah work for that because she's giving Brave Region, or does Alexander's counter like have to happen before Brave Region?
I have no idea how any of that works.
Because I think people are going to be, I'm starting to analyze the fight. I think people are going to be laser focused on Gladio. Like, oh, I'm just going to use Gladio and like knock that out. But you need an extremely specific team comp. It's like, yeah, if you pulled these 6 characters, then yeah, you're good.
See, it's interesting, right, that they don't apply similar like the Serah hitters don't apply similar logic to Gladio, because it's like you're bringing Gladio, but you know his heal isn't that great, so why the fuck are you bringing it?
And his brave shape is abysmal.
There's no consistency anywhere.
Yeah,
that's why nobody has their own opinion. Not gonna say nobody; it's an absolute. But a lot of people do not generate their own opinion. They just follow someone else's and then rationalize it afterwards.
I did find it funny because the initial Twitter post of the Serah video, there were people replying there, like just assuming that no change had been made. Which is like, oh, Serah sucks, I'm skipping. Like,
there's so many people who got like Setzer. Honestly, with this LD, he didn't need a rework. Setzer's rework was the least impactful part of his kit. It was the LD. If Setzer hadn't gotten a rework, his LD would still be stupid enough to justify on the party. His rework was he doesn't dump Brave with skill 1, and he gets refund in the middle of his red cards. And I think he got 2 more red cards. That is a super small rework. If Setzer got that rework now, it wouldn't make him good at all. So it's a scale, you know, like on 0 to 10, and a busted LD can push you over the line to 10. Like, all right, OP. But a strong rework can like edge you out there as well if your LD isn't as good. So if you go like there are don't get me wrong, there are cases where someone didn't get a rework and they got a okay LD like 7 and Deuce, and time to hot take Waka needed a little bit more in my opinion. He can have some potential abuse, but I think he needs a little bit more meat on his LD. It's possible to have a very broken rework like Ramza, for example. Ramza's like LD and LD boards, if you actually look at the details, they're not all that substantial, but Ramza's rework along with his other utilities fit in nicely. It's a balancing act.
If Ramza didn't have instant break on skill 1, I feel like he would have gotten a lot less use.
Porum doesn't get rework on LD time for big skip. Yep, pretty much. Lena didn't rework, he barely used her skills. Yeah, I found that out using Lena today. I just never hit her skills really ever.
But this is the other thing. Now that Pandora's box has been opened and they are changing LD boards, why not for Waka or for 7 or some of the more lackluster LD releases?
That's
What's
a good
stopping
question.
them?
And now we have that potential paranoia in the back of our minds, and I'm for it.
If they fix something about 7, they have to fix her HP, her special HP plus that she gets. I think the most bullshit thing about 7's LD is the fact that when she uses her special HP plus, she gets a buff. That buff goes down whenever you take a turn. Like any turn, any action, it goes down. At least if I'm remembering it correctly.
Yes.
Except, unlike Kryle's overhead buff
and Yang
and Yang's buff, her buff goes down in burst. So you can't abuse her 20% brave damage and 20% HP damage. You can't abuse them like you can with every other character that has Brave and HP damage up. She's the only one that you can't abuse it with, which is just
very questionable
makes no
design.
sense.
And like Aerith didn't get a rework, and Aerith's base kit is horrible. Dear God, Aerith's base kit is so bad you literally don't use her skills. At least Porum's skills are still good. Aerith's skills are you just ignore them. And Deuce is another weird example where if she'd gotten like, I don't know, 100% AoE on skill 2 and a instant or 0 turn count on her skill 1, that would have been nice, but they just didn't do it. And her LD is good auras, but man.
On another point with Aerith is the Ashtola Lufenia made it very noticeable how shit her kit is in terms of like turn efficiency and stuff, because you had to use her skills to maintain the orb. But then that's like super turn inefficient.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the turn count requirement on that quest is hella low, right?
At least her skill 1 is effective. Like
Yeah.
if you're dying, like skill 1, you're good. Like after that, so I don't hate her skill 1 that much. Skill 2, however, is a disgrace
It's
to
useless.
the human race.
Her skill 2 is useless.
It's just useless.
Yeah, they'll fix that at some point, I'm sure.
Wow, we have
But yeah, I mean,
154
at least it
people in
revived.
chat. Holy shit, that's a lot of people.
That's awesome.
Though these polls with me having the option to say I didn't even know you streamed, it was 20% of like the 1,500 people that voted last time. I'm like, really?
That's awesome.
And I think now it's at like 18, so it's going down. So I'm gonna keep asking that until it's at like 10%, because that's still pretty hilarious. Also,
For
shout out to
sure.
like the 15% of people that said no, I'm not gonna watch it. Thanks.
Did they participated? They boosted the algorithm.
They sure
and,
did.
You know,
I think
they've done a service.
For sure. One thing I want to make sure is clear that like what we're talking about. I don't think Deuce or Seven or any of them are going to get reworked. They're not reworking base kits at all. They're not focusing on it clearly because the base kit, I mean, I guess they could pull a Bart's, and who are the others that have been reworked 2 or 3 times, right? There's a handful of characters that have had multiple reworks. It's very unlikely for them to rework like the base kit multiple times, but the LD board, they're clearly willing to future shift LD boards. So that's why we're talking about a character like Seven or Deuce that could get a boost on their LD board and basically make their kit a little bit more efficient. That said, I'm pitying Deuce. I actually think Deuce is pretty solid, and I'm looking forward to using her with Terra.
Yeah, she's a
That's
good
the
option
thing,
for
right?
Terra.
The LD board changes they'd have to do to fix a lot of these are pretty modest, really. It's not really that much on the effort scale, and it gets people to pull. So it's like it's in their interest to do it. So
that's why I thought Serah was going to get reworked. Why I've been saying it for so long was because it sells the costume. It costs them very little. They're probably pulling it from JP, right? Like all they have to do is add it to the game. They're selling. Their people are going to pull after they were expecting to skip, which means some people may have to dip into their credit cards. And then on top of it, they're selling the costume too and the bow, the gloss. That is a ton of money sitting on the table for something that basically doesn't hurt. Like, doesn't hurt anything. Serah isn't going to break the game. You don't have to pull her. You're probably missing out on a very strong character if you don't, but that's fine, right? No one is mandatory in this game whatsoever, and you can get by with your own roster probably. Like, I don't think there's any content that you're going to pull Serah and be like, oh, now I can do this. But I do think that she deserves a spot in the main party probably for months to come.
Months, yeah. It's gonna be a while for like, I don't feel like using Serah anymore. It's gonna be a while, I think, because that regen, I can't get over that regen. That regen's really good. Ibrave regen is dead.
It means that she caps, right? Like,
pretty much.
And that was the thing with Waka. When I was looking at Waka's kit, it's like, oh well, he's got 40% Brave region and 50% iBrave to the party, and that equates to so like insignificant levels versus M-Brave region.
Yeah, it's night and day. It really is.
Yeah.
Mog
it
kind
makes
of
you
wants
wonder.
Rework.
Mog. I don't want to talk about Mog.
Oh, really? Huh. That's interesting. Is it bad?
He's really lukewarm, and I'm mad that he doesn't enchant the party.
Oh.
It wouldn't have hurt anybody if he didn't enchant. If he enchanted the party, like it doesn't really make sense that he self-enchant, and I bet whenever he gets another pass, they're going to give him the dual enchant. It's that they didn't want to make him like a fluffy Garnet. Like yeah, like maybe they had a furry syndrome and they didn't want to make furry Garnet, and that was it, because otherwise he would have enchanted Water and Thunder just like her.
Okay, because I have no honest idea how Mog worked. I saw the Lufenia was garbage, and I UV cheesed it, and I never looked back at this kit. So I don't know a single thing he does. So
it's almost like they just didn't want people to pull Mog. They just made it cheesable for no reason.
No, they
were like, yep.
Put Terra and Mog on a banner. You're enticing every FF6 fan, right? Like, there's no way an FF6 fan, a really, really strong fan, would skip Mog and Terra on, like, so close together.
Well, I'm having a skip a Mog. So,
yeah,
you are?
Like,
yes.
Wow.
Because Mog sucks.
Wow. What kind of Final Fantasy VI fan are you?
So he doesn't suck. I just wish he did more.
Yeah, I mean, equipping the Moogle charm and running through areas I didn't want to deal with, that was nice. But otherwise, he just sat in the airship alone, friendless.
Bullshit.
Oh no, he had that fucking Yeti to keep him company, I guess. Yeah, just literally just didn't use him.
Yikes.
In FF6.
Okay, that makes sense then if you didn't use him.
Umaro is great. His attacks ignore defense. But this isn't an FF6 stream. It's a DFFOO stream, sort of.
See, if this was Umaro in that banner, that's instant pity. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm pitying that shit immediately. Mog, nah. I'm saving the gems.
What's chat saying? Reminds me of Kamari does a whole lot of nothing. Oof.
So he doesn't do nothing, and he actually has a lot of runs. Like, VL has run Mog really far, so he definitely gets runs, and he can dole out damage. I was having, I was testing with Eons on one of the Transcendence stages, and Mog was pouring out like just under 200k on his attacks, which is pretty damn impressive considering. Like, even on the later half of the fight, he was still dealing reasonable damage for a support. It's just his auras are probably, if I remember right, I don't have the research in front of me, but his auras are like, they're fine. They're like convenient auras. They're like Y'shtola's auras. But he does have Brave damage up, so he has that going for him. But it's just a lot of characters have Brave damage up now. Fewer characters have HP damage up, which is why Serah is so damn good.
HP damage up plus the overflows. Those are really good if you're like capping.
In Serah's case, all of them. Brave, HP,
Serah literally has everything except defense.
HP regen.
HP regen,
yeah.
Kamari has Majed uses Kamari a lot actually. He used them like for Shadows Lufenia, and then he's used in Kane's intertwined wills because of the range damage orb. Kamari's been chugging along just fine. It's just a lot of the people running him aren't doing YouTube runs, which is truly the tragedy. Because it's not like he's not being used. He's actually it's pretty funny. we all love trashing Kamari because Kamari does suck, but he's plenty viable.
I'm surprised that no content creator highlighted the fact that Kamari's debuff is never ever resisted. That debuff always works except against guaranteed hit, but that it's never resisted. I feel like content creators should have jumped on that on the should you
if it has a workaround, then I think that that's its own it's a counter in its own right.
Sure, that's fine.
And also, if these content creators proliferated the fact that no boss is resisting his blind, then all of a sudden the devs catch on to that and they're like, wait a minute, everyone's just fucking using Kamari, and then all of a sudden it starts resisting blind. Like as a
glad you stopped talking about Trey. Almost made me go back and throw tickets. Man, I'm telling you, I just used Trey today at this recent Lufenia Plus, dude. Trey has saved my ass. Like, he's good in multiple somebody said it earlier. Damn, having to go free up Trey from another Transcendent stage again because I gotta beat this one.
Yeah, removing threat from fights, like if you've enjoyed Arciella, if you've enjoyed Porum, like Warrior of Light, Trey is a different version of that. It's countering fights in a different way by having instant break on follow on any hit. Like Deuce becomes an instant breaker. Cyan instant breaks, like all of them do. It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is amazing.
I didn't think of that synergy. Holy shit.
Shut up. Amir for $5. Kane is good and all, but I'm waiting for
fixes him.
Estinian from Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, I'd pull an Estinian immediately. That dude's hype. Don't reveal the Kamari secret. Okay, your secret's safe with us. No one watches this anyways. They all voted not interested, or I'd never heard of
this. Yeah. That's great. Now I think Kamari, I think the other problem is it's so hard to tell when attacks are guaranteed. Like it's very hard to research that. Like guaranteed hit. It's only when people like specifically note it, like, oh yeah, I couldn't use this character here. I don't know. It's harder to figure out that Kamari does work for a fight. He covers a lot of roles, and Jack of all trades. It's the same reason why Paladin Cecil at his EX Plus, like a lot of people skipped him there because they were like, oh, Vane's the hype person on the banner, and Paladin Cecil just does a lot of a little thing, or a little of a lot thing, whatever. That's a terrible thing.
You want to hear something terrible, truly terrible? Wow, I hope I'm saying your name. Pedro Soto. Anyone knows the name of the newspaper on Kamari's land? Mount Gagazette. Oh.
That's just man.
That's excellent. Thank you.
Yep, you got the 8 cosign. That's how you know it's truly horrible. Oh god, 150 people in chat. Thanks for coming through, guys. Y'all are great. 150. Yeah, 150 is crazy. Like the video if you haven't. I told Ink I wanted to go for an hour earlier, so I'll give it about 10 more minutes, and we can close out. Because I am exhausted.
When Seymour was climbing that mountain, maybe he was intending to just be peaceful, but then Aronso told him that joke, and he was like, right, you forced my hand.
Oh, man. It's bad when I find Neclord really funny. Like, I usually just find him a little funny, but really funny. That's other levels of Neclord.
That's dangerous. 159, is it? It's all over the place according to Streamlabs. I hope I said your name out right, by the way. Whoever made the bad joke. Yeah, thank you for that, because that definitely reduced my lifespan.
So, one thing I wanted to say. So, do you think that because we're getting LD board reworks, let's future shift massively, right? So, forget about Seven and Waka and all of them. What about Guy? All of the LCs, Guy and Aranea and all these characters that get absolutely nothing on their Lost Chapter, I think they're prime top subjects to get LD board rework.
No.
No?
Nope.
I think it depends, because a lot of the returning LDs that didn't get too much were accompanied by a new LD that was mega hype.
Yeah.
So,
gotta sell the new LD.
I'm trying to think. Is there a case where the new
That's
LD
fair.
isn't hype?
Barrett.
That was a Transcendence banner, and that hurts me.
I know, but Barrett.
Yeah, he's pretty rough.
So who returned with Barrett?
Young.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't work then.
No, it doesn't. It's not likely, because these new Lost Chapters are pretty heavily tuned to the new
I'd say Guy is probably the most likely candidate though.
Nah,
because
he's just gonna be a meme. Someone's got to be the meme.
Need it.
Sync was it with?
Yes. Yeah. Sync's Lost Chapter.
Did you guys
The
get any
second
LD you
coming.
didn't have and wanted to get on the JP Anniversary banner? Barrett and Porum, actually. And then I proceeded to never use Porum in a single Lufenia Plus. I haven't used Porum. That's the funny thing. Porum and sets are going to have the hype train behind them in full force, and I'm going to be like, I never used a single one of them in Lufenia Plus. I mean, well, I did use Setzer for Transcendence 4, but that was the last time I used them. If people are going to hype them up as necessary, I'm going to be like, well, look what I did. And I haven't greened a Burst Plus since Bart's either. At first it was by virtue of me not having any bursts to plus, and then I've been so disappointed with Art and let me put an asterisk on this. Both of these characters are good. I just don't like using them. Arden and Golbez. I have their burst, so I could burst plus them, but I don't want to because I don't need to. So, yeah, take that, Doomers. What were you gonna say, Ink?
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like this comes up a lot with you. I think is that you just don't like certain characters. Because when you were doing Arciella, like her overview, this is where I'll call you out, right? You were like, "Hey, Arciella is fine. Like I never used her, and I don't think I'm not gonna quote you, but you definitely you were like, yeah, I pulled Arciella, and I never used her in JP. I used her like once or twice. And I think a lot of people have gotten a ton of use out of Arciella, like ridiculous amounts of use out of Arciella. Yeah.
I don't really calling me out. It's just that's the point of my video, saying I didn't do it. I mean, I've used her now more in GL too. Now that I thought about it, I'm like, wait, I want to use Arciella. What is that squeaking, by the way? Is that your dog?
Sorry, he's got a football and he's running back and forth.
Oh, so cute. Yeah, no, I used RCL a bunch more now because I experiment a little. But it was more at the time. I was like, wait, when did I use her? Oh, I guess I did, and that wasn't a knock against her. It's just, I never me not using someone isn't indicative of anything really, because I never used Noctis, and we've seen all the terror Noctis went on. I never used Lightning, so yeah, it really doesn't mean someone not getting used by someone doesn't mean anything really. It's just it didn't happen. Although I'm gonna hype Ace though. Ace is a god. RC was awesome, yeah. Premium squishing sound. Yeah. Oh man. The 11 extension was good. I wish I could play 11 because it looks cool, but it's old. Am I late? Yep, sure are. But don't worry, there will be a video on demand. RSL could be nice on boss wave. See, my brain's falling apart already. Boss Rush Wave 3. Was that the Dragon Wave to silence them? I guess. But you better make sure you don't have 4 debuffs on the last wave or else you're going to get blown up. Is the 120 attack aura in global?
Yes? Question mark?
Yes. I had to remember what you were talking about. You're talking about Arciella. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Arciella claps a lot of things. It's just not immediately obvious. And she's got really strong buffs.
I put a picture of my dog with his football in chat, so people can see the happy dog and how much he likes his football.
I see.
It helps to put a face. Like if you just hear some random annoying noise, like that's never great. But if you can see what's causing it and that thing is adorable, then that usually helps a little bit. So. Hopefully that cancels out anybody that was annoyed by the squeaking.
Cool.
Wait a minute,
yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Oh right, you've just typed dog with football to inform chat, or am I?
Can you hear my keyboard?
No, I can't hear you.
Okay, that's good.
Chat so might be able to. I've switched to a frisbee. The frisbee doesn't make noise. Now he does.
Oh crap! I didn't ask Ink what he's eating. Ah! I forgot.
I had for dinner. I meant to interrupt you at some point with it because I was going to be like, well, this is more important than what you're talking about. Let me tell you. It probably was, but yeah. I was eating a Detroit-style pizza. I prefer New York-style pizza, but Detroit-style pizza is pretty solid.
Does it taste like sewer water? What?
There's types.
It's 2 layers of pepperoni, which is there's pepperoni on the bottom and pepperoni on top. Was
it rat pepperoni?
So good.
I have Detroit jokes for days.
I have no Detroit defenses because I don't care. Now, if you fight New York pizza, then yeah, that's another thing.
I know too many people from Detroit. Premium frisbee. They're never gonna. Hopefully, the premium thing catches on outside of this.
I hate that.
Anything that isn't premium, we'll have to call it reverse premium as well.
Oh yeah, reverse premium.
Just to keep the the lexicon.
Reverse premium.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of jokes. I won't throw them out now. We'll do it in future stuff to draw the people back. But I have a lot of terrible premium things now that I'm thinking of.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't even know if I want to bring it up again, but I appreciate you calling me on my shit, and I'm gonna review like what I've put premium in, where I've mentioned it, and evaluate whether I stand by that or not. And
I need to
whether
figure
it
out
needs to
what.
be
Maybe it was
adjusted.
one of the evals you sent me because I must have held that in. 'Cause I'm trying to process where that came from. You're like premium. Ah!
Yeah, I haven't asked you for help in a few. Like I asked you for help with Golbus.
Yeah, it had to be
But,
unleaded. Oh, whatever. In Detroit, isn't not premium called unleaded? Someone made that joke already. Name your poll videos premium polls. Maybe. I'll think about it. Okay, I am seriously falling apart now. So let's get our closing statements in. I don't know. Someone else talk.
Which I will not be using Waka. So there's like limited synergy characters coming up for Boss Rush. So I think I'm not going to use Waka, and I think I'm not going to use Y'shtola just because I love using Trey, Setzer, and Charlotta. So 2 people have to get the short end of the stick on Boss Rush. So that's my closing statement.
I see, and I'm very excited for Boss Rush. Neclord, closing statement.
Everyone's Serah takes a garbage, and
I see.
She's mad underrated.
I don't even know if underrated is right anymore because I think people are like seeing how
tide
much
is
of a
turning.
nuke she's making people. But
honestly, some of the takes I saw in like the first 3 days, it's just unacceptable. Did you not learn your lessons after Balthier, guys?
Yeah, really. If anything, it's just highlighting that people don't understand buffs. They just hear good auras and they just roll with it.
Yeah, that's why everyone pulled Rude.
Rude's amazing auras.
Premium Waka Ball. Tomberry Troop needs to make premium merch, premium statements, premium ranting hour. Tomberry Troop premium edition with extra features and special infographics. Call it platinum damage. Serah should have stayed bad. You're banned. Lulu would actually say premium Waka Balls. Probably. Closing statement.
That's awful.
Balthier is just a not premium Serah. Oh yeah, Rude's good. It's just that he doesn't have premium auras. My closing statement is
premium.
I'm exhausted lately. I'm like 3 months behind on my JP retros at this point. I need to figure out some way to chunk through that, and it won't be this weekend. Hopefully I can get a new keyboard because I'm still sad about that. And my headset receiver, but this has been successful. I didn't stream Kane yesterday because I was also exhausted. Just life is getting a little back to normal. So I've been like working out and like doing other stuff, and really my channel took off mid quarantine because I didn't really have much else to do. So don't worry about me. I'm just trying to trim the fat. Basically, is what's happening.
Also, it must be difficult to get Kane footage, given the LD.
Yeah.
Because he just sort of goes missing, doesn't he?
And
for
he doesn't
chat,
come back.
he moves his own turn back like Sync. That's pretty funny. I'm skipping Kane. I already beat his Fenny without him, and I'm sticking the middle finger up to Mino. I've been skipping a lot of JP actually. This whole month is almost a skip for me. Like, what did I pull? Jack, and then Lena. And then I whiffed Maria. I had Caius and I free pulled Selfie, and then I'm skipping Kane. I'm probably skipping Ida. So yeah, that's a pretty hard skip month for me.
What is the general Caius verdict anyway?
Oh man, he's really good now. Them reworking Doom is just so dumb. It's so good now.
That's really strong.
It just breaks every turn now. Oh, it's like a Trey on steroids, honestly. No,
yeah,
not
it's
quite.
About time he got some love.
Pull
like
that one back.
Every tuning pass he's had, it's felt like they've like held back a bit in terms of like making his kit decent.
This feels like the real Caius.
Yeah,
he feels like a villain right now. But yeah, if I see him exhausted in my videos, it's because I am. But I'm good. I'm chilling. And the stream is also gonna last for an hour because I'm tired like that. So, I think we got all our thoughts out. Thanks for coming through, everybody, for watching the VOD again. If you ain't subscribed already, do that. Like the video. I can say this, my little thing off the top of my head now without even thinking about it. I'm seriously running on autopilot now. Right now. Hashtag premium in the comments. And Ink, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say leave comments. I've definitely gone back to the stream and checked the comments. Like we'll respond. So feel free to drop comments.
Yeah, always comments. I'm not gonna say the Sync's line anymore because it's killing my throat. But Caius Bahamuto is very.
That's so good.
Bahamuto. I love it. I'm probably
His
not gonna
voice
get his
is hella
verse though,
deep.
but because I'm not pulling anything else. But it feels bad. I might token it, and I'm gonna keep hoarding. Yeah. All right. Guys, end of the stream now. Thanks guys for coming through.